The Brothers of Liberty, here to remind you what true freedom is.
A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a desire to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Hello and welcome to the Brothers of Liberty. Started off this video a little bit differently here to quote the Second Amendment and to quote a passage from the Declaration of Independence. If you all haven't heard by now, Tuesday evening, and this video will be posted on Thursday, Tuesday evening, the Senate, along with 14 RINOs, decided to vote to go ahead and debate the gun control bill, that is taking up in the Senate chambers right now. Yes, you heard me correctly. 14 RINOs, 14 Republicans that are going to throw your rights away. And who are these RINOs, you ask? Well, I got the list right here. John Cornyn, the lead negotiator with Democrat Murphy from Connecticut to come up with the gun principles. Mitch McConnell, no surprise there. Tom Tillis of North Carolina. Susan Collins of Maine. Lindsey Graham, South Carolina. Bill Cassidy, Louisiana. Roy Blunt, Missouri. Richard Burr, North Carolina. Mitt Romney, Utah. Rob Portman, Ohio. Shelley Moore, Captio, West Virginia. Johnny Ernest, Iowa. Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Todd Young of Indiana. And by the way, 2 Republicans did not vote at all. Kevin Cramer of North Dakota and Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania. Now, because they did the vote, it will be taken to the Senate floor to be debated before they get to the recess. Now, this text of the bill came out. It is 80 pages long. Yes, it's a long bill. And yeah, they pushed the vote right away, so a lot of people couldn't read the bill. I actually haven't read it in its entirety. I've actually skimmed through it. And some of the things I've and looked for certain keywords and stuff. And some of the things there is you definitely want to take a look at. I'll have the link of that on my page here, on my description, along with a couple other links. Including the Bonds for Win link, which you'll see why that would be up there as well. So this is another bill to take away our Second Amendment rights, and they're trying to say it's for safety measures. So let's see the 3 main points that the bill covers. Support state enforcing red flag laws, which, by the way, they don't call it red flag laws. They call it, let's see here, crisis intervention. All right, so that's the new word they're calling it. So don't be fooled when they say that. Offers mental health services and improves school safety. Now, when they're talking about the mental health services, they're not just talking about for adults. They're also talking about for children as well, of all ages. In fact, let me read a text here, one of the texts. Issue guidance to states on the Medicaid coverage requirements for such services that includes best practices for ensuring children to have access to comprehensive healthcare services, including children without mental health or substance use disorder diagnosis. Now, a lot of people, yes, that's good in writing, but you know what's going to happen? Some 5 or 6-year-olds are going to throw a tantrum like all 5 and 6-year-olds do. And by the way, they're also talking about in this text and the bill, developmental behavior pediatricians and psychiatrists. They're going to go, oop, fits of rage and violence. They're going to put that on his record. When he turns, and let's say he's a model, honor roll student, everything else, no fights at all. He becomes 18 or 21, whatever the age they're pushing, to buy a gun. Mental health record, fits of violence. Oh, sorry, I can't sell you a gun. But that was now 5. You could have another fit of violence. See how easy it is to take away your rights? They know that this generation, our generation, and the generations now with guns are going to be hard to give them up. So they're going to stop the future generations from getting them. You raise the prices up here for our generation to be hard to get them, and then by the time every kid is going to have some kind of disorder that's going to prevent them from getting a gun. They'll make up disorders. Watch, when this bill comes into effect, disorders are going to raise up. Watch, prove me wrong. The next one is the implementation of state crisis and intervention court proceedings, related programs or initiatives, including but not limited to mental health courts, drug courts, veteran courts, and extreme risk protection order programs. Red flag laws, people be a danger to themselves. Oh, he's a veteran, he's been through a war, he might have a flashback and shoot everybody up. There goes a veteran now, lost his gun with no proof of that he was going to do any of these things. And when you keep reading the text, especially pages 33 to 36, they do talk about protecting the constitutional rights for people that might be fall under the extreme risks and stuff. But let me just read it here verbatim. Pre-deprivation and post-deprivation due process rights that prevent any violation or infringement of the Constitution of the United States, including but not limited to the Bill of Rights and the substantive or procedural due process rights guaranteed under the 5th and 14th Amendments of the Constitution of the United States. Funny, they don't mention the 4th Amendment, which is the right where you need a warrant to search. They're not going to use warrants. And with the Supreme Court ruling of Egbert versus Bull, you can't sue a federal agent now for breaking down your door, taking all your guns without due process. Funny how they leave the 4th Amendment out and how that Supreme Court ruling came to be right around the same time. Coincidence? To quote a character from Star Trek, I believe in coincidences. I don't trust them. Also, for the crisis intervention programs, there's a section where grants will be awarded. So yeah, they're pretty much encouraging police departments to do it and give them money for it. I guess the more people you get in that crisis prevention, the more money you get. Money talks, everybody walks. And the fun part, they're adding an additional $1 million for the ATF fiscal year from 2023 to 2027. That's $1 million each year for their programs. $100 million additional for the FBI, and that's for so many years. I forgot what it said there. And $1.4 billion for state and local law enforcement for 2022 to 2026, which when divided up will be about $280 million a year. So yes, this law is just the beginning. I mean, they've already had laws to, circumnavigate the Second Amendment. This is now blatantly making it worse and making sure they take away your rights, which is guaranteed in the Constitution. Now, the reason why I mentioned Bonds for the Win website that I'll post it is since they want to use money to take away our rights, let's use the money to hit them where it counts. Every representative and senator who voted who's for this gun control bill, let's put a surety bond claim out because they're not doing their job. Their job is to protect the Constitution and serve and be under the Constitution, and they're not doing their jobs. And as I explained it in another video, even if the bond says that they did their jobs properly, those politicians still have to pay money for the investigations. So you know what? Let's hit them in the pocket, especially during a midterm year. Take away their campaign money. Put claims all out because they have to investigate every single claim. which means that's lots of money. Imagine if, 100 people did it from one representative place, a representative's a district, 100 times however much money. That's less money they have to put into campaigning to get elected. So maybe we should take out surety bonds on them now, or surety claims. Put claims out against them with their bond, and most of them are bonded because they're public officials. So let's time to hit them in their pocketbooks as well. Lawsuits, anything and everything for them to take money away from their campaign, to make them have a miserable campaign where they don't want to run again. Sending emails and calling doesn't seem to be working. Maybe it's time to hit them in the pocketbook where their lobby money is going out the window, where they can't afford their 4 million, 4 mansions and 5 yachts. Even Bernie Sanders, supposedly the poorest senator in the Senate, has 2 or 3 homes and worth like $3-4 million. I wish I was that poor. But yes, that's just a summary of the text. I haven't, like I said, it's 80 pages. I haven't read through all of it completely, but that's just some of the things the media won't tell you that's happening. And if, let's hit them where it hurts. And that's just my opinion. What's your opinion? I would definitely like comments on this. Like, share the hell out of it, because no other media source will. Liberty Doll is a person I follow. Follow her, because I know she's going to do a video on it that's more in depth, since she has more time on her hands than I do. The Armed Scholar, they have more in-depth things about this, and they haven't done this yet because they're still researching it and doing the text, but they're trying to push this, which is why I pushed this video out for tomorrow and put aside another video I was going to do. If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, brothersofliberty76@gmail.com. Any topics you want us to research, anything, you can email that, or you can DM me on the groups I'm in. We'll always check. And once again, I am the older brother of liberty, reminding you what true freedom is and ought to be.